Hi everyone, I'm Ali GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk about a situation that I see that happens often. It was actually a suggestion that I saw in the comments. When you feel better and when you start to feel like you're thinking more clearly, there is a big temptation to look back at the thoughts. And as soon as you start to look back, it will start to pull you back in. So in the moment, it feels like, well, you know what, I'm okay. I'm thinking clearly. I can try to figure it out just to make sure that I'm safe. But because I'm not really worried about it anymore, or I'm not worried as much. So let me just look back just to make sure, just one time. And then before you know it, you're pulled right back in, your anxiety skyrockets. So the trick is not to allow yourself to do that. That if you're feeling good, it doesn't mean that you can relax and take things easy. It means that you have to be very vigilant right now because your recovery is not set in stone. It's not going to be like this forever. After a while, you won't have to be vigilant. You can just live life. But for the first, I would say 6 months to a year, especially the first 6 months, but I would say for the first year, you have to be very careful that you don't get overstressed, that your mind is focusing on the things that it should be focusing on. And when you feel like you're starting to get back in there and just figure it out, just even for a second, no, I'm not doing that. Or with other things such as avoidance, right? Like if you're feeling good and you don't want to mess that up by doing something, right? So you're avoiding it, just so you don't get a thought, right? That's not a good idea because you can do this to a certain extent, right? But eventually it will still get you. And when it gets you after you have been avoiding, it's going to be so much worse because you've been already kind of powering it up by avoiding. So you've never got a thought maybe or never had to deal with a situation because you've been avoiding, but the fear of it has been building up in the background. So it's just very, very important for you to the as much as you are working on it when things are not so good and you do feel like I have to come out of this right now, I have to really work on it. You have to do the same exact thing when you're feeling very good and when you're having a good day. It can't be just like let things be, just relax. No, because it will come back. Because right now the brain is very comfortable when you are in fear and not comfortable when you're feeling okay. So as soon as you start to feel okay and you start to normalize and there's no thought that your brain could have pushed on you in that specific moment or the specific day, right? Trust me when I say it's trying to find something, it's looking for something, so you have to be very kind of vigilant that if it finds something, which I'm sure it will, right, that you don't react with fear and you push through and no, I'm not doing this, I'm having a good day, I'm not reacting, I'm moving forward. Not from a position of fear, but from a position of I've had better things to do, I've heard this a million times, I'm not doing this. That's a position of power and just keeping going. And when you keep going, it doesn't mean that the thoughts are going to go away. The thoughts are still going to be there and they're going to be bothering you to some extent, but just leave them on kind of like one side of your brain and you focus on the other side of the brain, right? Like you separate yourself, put like a kind of a barrier between you and the thoughts, right? So you're just focusing on real life, and if the thoughts are there bothering you, they're bothering you, they're coming on autopilot. There's nothing we can do in this moment because they're playing off of the old programming, and right now you are creating the new programming which will come into effect in days and weeks to come. So that's when you're going to start to see progress, and it might be slow at first depending on the amount of resistance that you could put up, the amount of disregarding that you can manage, right? But it will get better as it goes. The beginning is always the hardest. So, even if it's not working out exactly as you expected, exactly as fast as you expected, just keep pushing. And like I said, when you feel good, don't look back, just keep going. Keep focusing on real life stuff, and you will see little by little, this is how you progress, this is how you recover from this. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to do the recovery program, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'll see you in tomorrow's video.